There is a quiet slavery that many people do not notice. It does not place chains on the hands. It places chains on the mind. It makes a man ask, do they approve of me? Do they like what I am becoming? Do they see my worth? And without realizing it, he gives strangers the power to decide whether he may feel peace. What a small life this becomes. To live for applause is to live in fear, because the same mouth that praises you today may criticize you tomorrow. The same crowd that lifts you up can turn away when you no longer entertain them. So tell me, why would you build your peace on something so unstable? A wise person does not ask the world for permission to respect himself. He does not wake up each morning begging for approval. He asks only this: did I act with honesty? Did I control myself? Did I do what was right? Did I remain faithful to my values? If the answer is yes, then he needs no applause. Validation is sweet, but it is dangerous when you depend on it. Praise can make you weak if you begin to need it. Criticism can destroy you if you forget who you are. The opinions of others are like the wind. They change direction without warning. One day they admire your silence. The next day they call you cold. One day they praise your ambition. The next day they say you have changed. One day they love your kindness. The next day they take advantage of it. If you chase every opinion, you will never stand still long enough to know yourself. You will become a mirror for everyone else, but a stranger to your own soul. Stop asking the crowd if you are enough. The crowd does not know your battles. They did not see the nights you survived alone. They did not feel the weight you carried silently. They do not understand the discipline it took for you to keep going. So why give them the authority to measure you? A strong soul does not need constant recognition. The sun does not ask to be noticed before it rises. The tree does not ask for applause before it grows. The mountain does not become smaller because no one praises its height. Be like that. Do your work quietly. Improve yourself quietly. Heal quietly. Grow quietly. Let your character speak louder than your need to be seen. Because the moment you stop seeking validation, you become free. Free from proving, free from explaining, free from chasing people who only respect you when you please them. You do not need everyone to understand your path. Some people will misunderstand you because they only know the old version of you. Some will judge you because your growth reminds them of their own delay. Some will criticize you because your silence gives them no control. Let them. You were not born to be approved by everyone. You were born to live with dignity. So return to yourself. Build a life that feels honorable when no one is watching. Become the kind of person you can respect in silence. And when the world refuses to clap, keep walking. Because the greatest approval is not from the crowd. It is the quiet peace of knowing, I did not betray myself. Many people spend years trying to win a game that can never be won. They seek approval from family, then from friends, then from co-workers, and even when they receive it, the satisfaction fades quickly. Soon they need more praise, more attention, more reassurance. The hunger returns because validation is not food for the soul. It is only a temporary distraction from insecurity. A thirsty man cannot satisfy himself by imagining water. Likewise, an insecure person cannot find lasting confidence through the opinions of others. The solution is not more approval. The solution is becoming independent of it. This is why many people remain anxious. They have placed their self-worth in the hands of people who are busy dealing with their own problems. Think carefully. Most people spend very little time thinking about you. They are worried about their own failures, their own fears, their own futures, yet you lose sleep wondering what they think. You suffer over conversations they have already forgotten. You replay moments that no longer exist. You become a prisoner of judgments that may not even be real. How much energy is wasted this way? A wise person guards his attention. He understands that attention is life itself. Whatever controls your attention controls your life. If every compliment lifts you, then every insult can destroy you. If every criticism wounds you, then your peace belongs to someone else. But peace was never meant to be rented from other people. It must be built within. There will come a time when doing the right thing will cost you approval. You may have to say no. You may have to walk away. You may have to disappoint someone. You may have to choose your principles over popularity. At that moment, your character will be tested. Anyone can be virtuous when everyone agrees with them. Anyone can be confident when everyone applauds. The true test comes when you stand alone. Can you still trust yourself then? Can you still remain calm when misunderstood? Can you still act with integrity when nobody praises you for it? This is where freedom begins, not when the world accepts you, but when you accept yourself. Not when everyone approves, but when you no longer require their approval. The strongest people are often the quietest. They are not performing. They are not competing for attention. They are not constantly checking whether they are admired. Their energy is directed inward, toward discipline, toward wisdom, toward mastery of themselves. And that is why they appear peaceful. Their happiness is not attached to the reactions of others. It comes from something deeper, something that cannot be taken away by criticism, something that cannot be increased by praise. It comes from living in accordance with their values. So the next time you feel the urge to seek validation, pause and ask yourself, what am I truly looking for? Is it approval, or is it certainty? Is it admiration, or is it self-respect? Because no amount of applause can give you what only character can provide. The crowd can cheer for you. The crowd can celebrate you. The crowd can admire you. Yet if you cannot respect yourself when you are alone, none of it will matter. Seek not to be admired. Seek to be worthy of admiration. Seek not to be noticed. Seek to become someone whose conscience is clear. And then something remarkable happens. The approval you once chased loses its power. The opinions that once disturbed you become noise. The judgments that once frightened you become irrelevant. And for the first time, you walk through life not as a servant of public opinion, but as a master of your own mind. Consider how much suffering is created by the desire to be liked. A person hides their true thoughts to avoid criticism. They say yes when they wish to say no. They remain in unhealthy relationships because they fear rejection. They tolerate disrespect because they fear being alone. Little by little, they abandon themselves, until one day they look into the mirror and realize they have become someone they barely recognize. This is the cost of seeking validation. You trade authenticity for acceptance. You exchange freedom for approval. You surrender your peace for the possibility of being liked. But what is the value of being liked for someone you are pretending to be? A mask may receive praise, yet the person behind the mask remains unseen. And this is why so many people feel lonely even when surrounded by others. The world knows their performance. The world does not know their truth. A wise person refuses to live this way. He understands that rejection is not always a loss. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes being disliked is the price of honesty. Sometimes criticism is proof that you refused to betray your principles. Remember this. Not everyone is meant to understand you. The eagle and the fish do not share the same sky. The philosopher and the crowd rarely seek the same things. If your purpose is to grow, there will be people who become uncomfortable with your growth. If your purpose is to speak truth, there will be people who prefer comfortable lies. If your purpose is to live according to virtue, there will be people who mock your discipline. This should not surprise you, nor should it disturb you. The rose does not stop blooming because someone dislikes flowers. The river does not stop flowing because someone complains about the current. Nature continues its work without seeking permission. So should you. There is great strength in becoming indifferent to unnecessary opinions, free to act according to reason, free to make decisions based on wisdom rather than fear, free to walk your path even when others question it. This freedom cannot be purchased. It must be earned through self-reflection, earned through discipline, earned through repeatedly choosing what is right over what is popular. The world will always offer you a bargain. It will say, "Be who we want you to be, and we will reward you with approval." But approval purchased at the cost of your soul is far too expensive. Refuse the bargain. Stand firm. Let people misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. Let them criticize you. Their opinions belong to them. Your character belongs to you, and character is infinitely more valuable. Years from now, no one will remember every compliment you received. No one will remember every criticism either, but you will remember whether you lived honestly. You will remember whether you had the courage to remain yourself. You will remember whether you followed your conscience when it would have been easier to follow the crowd. That is the judgment that matters, not the judgment of strangers, not the judgment of critics, not the judgment of the crowd, the judgment of your own soul. So stop seeking validation. Stop asking the world to tell you who you are. Sit quietly, look within, examine your actions, correct your faults, strengthen your virtues, become better than you were yesterday, and let that be enough. For the person who knows their own worth no longer begs for recognition. They no longer chase applause. They no longer depend upon approval. They carry within themselves a source of confidence that cannot be given and cannot be taken away. And that is true freedom, the freedom Seneca spoke of. The freedom that belongs not to kings, not to emperors, but to anyone brave enough to stop living for the eyes of others and start living according to the wisdom within.